Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, we shall discuss about the compensators. What is a compensator and why it is important in the design of the control system. Suppose we have a system. Let's say that the system is represented by the pole zero map, which is given by this one. Let's say that we have two poles. Suppose that we have one pole over here and another pole over here. So let's say that we have these two poles in the current system, and let us find the root locus of this one, the system also. So if we plot the root locus of this system, we can see that as the gain will increase, the poles will move along the imaginary axis in the upward and the downward direction. In such case, we can say that the system is marginally stable. Marginally stable system. Now, this is a marginally stable system. We know that if the root locus will cross the imaginary axis, the system will become the unstable system. If the root locus move into the right half plane, RHP over here along this side. Similarly, we also know that if the root locus move into the left half plane over here, left half plane, by somehow if it move into the left half plane, so we say that the system will become a stable system. We already know that if all the poles lie in the left half plane, so we say that this system or the given system will be a stable system, and as it touches the imaginary axis, the system becomes the marginally stable system. So in this case, the system will produce the oscillation, and the two factors, or you can say the two areas of the controls the stable system, which is the steady state error, and the another one is the transient response. So both will not satisfy in this case. So let us see that what will happen if we will add an extra pole to the system or zero to the system. So let's see that what will happen. So in this case, let us say that we add another pole to the system. So if we will add another pole into the system anywhere along the right half, what is called the left half plane along the real axis, anywhere. So let us see that what happens. So what we do, let us take the same system. We take the same system. We take the two poles which were on the imaginary axis, and let's say that we add another pole along the real axis. Let us we do this one. So what will happen if we will add this pole into the system? You can see that we can analyze that what will happen to the system by making the root locus. So if we will make the root locus of this one, we can easily see that this pole will now this will move into the right half plane. Similarly, this will also move along the right half plane, and this will move along the real axis. So all for example, this will go along 60 degrees. So this will go along what is called this one minus 60 degrees, you can also say, and this one will go along the 180 degrees. This is from the asymptotic angle. Remember that the angle of the asymptote, we can also say that this will be 2k plus 1 pi divided by n minus m, where m is the number of the zeros and n are the number of the poles. So here we have 3 poles, so we can say that this will become equal to 2k plus 1, and this will be equal to pi by 3, and then we say that k is equal to 0, 1 up to 2. So k in this case will become equal to 0, 1 and 2. So we already discussed this one, so that is why we will not discuss this over here. Anyhow, we can easily plot the root locus diagram. So you see that with this addition of the extra pole over here, if we add the pole over here, so we see that the marginally stable system which was here, the marginally stable system, it became the unstable. So this become unstable system. Why unstable system? Because you see that the root locus, they move into the right half plane. So you see that we cannot blindly add the what is called the poles or the zeros into the system. Let us see that in this example what will happen if we add the 0 to the system. So if we will add a 0 to the system, the same system, so let's consider this one. We had these two poles locations, and then we said that let us we add the 0 to the system, an extra 0 into the system. So let's say that we add the 0 into the system. So you see that if we will add this 0 to the system, let's say that we add it over here. So what will happen to the root locus? So if we properly plot the root locus of this one using the same criteria that we discussed in the previous session, so you see that this will come over here, and then this will come over here due to the symmetries. They will come at the same point. This will go toward the 0, and this will go toward the 0 at the infinity. So you see that in this case the marginally stable system, which was initially the given system, the marginally stable system, the root locus, what is it called, they move into the left half plane if we add an extra 0 into the system. You see, with the addition of this one, it move into the left half plane. So what happened in this case? So initially you see that without this one, this was the system, the red one. So this one was the marginally stable system. So it produced the oscillation, and then what we did, we add an extra 0, and the system moved into the left half plane. The root locus moved into the left half plane, and it became the stable system. So we add a 0 to the system. So how we will add this 0 to the system, or in some cases how we will add the pole into the system. What are the criteria and what we call to this one? So let us see this one. So initially we had the system which is represented with S, GS, the system response function, and then we have the reference point. Suppose we have the negative feedback system over here, unity feedback system. So let us consider the unity feedback system. So we have the control signal, and this is the the input function, which can be the unit step function or the ramp function, another signal. So in this case we see that initially when we had the two poles and the marginally stable system, what we did into this system, we add what is called another parameter which is called the zeros. So we took the same transfer function. With this transfer function, we add another block over here, and this block a 0 was added over here. And how the 0, let us discuss this one. This is the feedback system, negative feedback system is plus, and we have the negative feedback system, and we said that a 0 is added. So how the 0 is added to the system? So we see that if we have some function, let's say that the function is represented with like the control function, or let's say that ds. So we add an s to the system. Why s? Because we know that when this s will become we say that at s is equal to 0, the system will have a 0. The system will have a 0. As the response function will become equal to 0, then we say that at s is equal to 0 in this case. But this is not necessary that it should be s is equal to 0. In the previous case, you see, it was any location. Let's say this is minus a. So if it is minus a, so in this case we say that s is equal to let's say that in that case s plus a, and then we say that at s is equal to minus a, we have a 0 into the system. So this is called, we add another block over here. So we added a 0 to the system. Similarly, we can add a pole to the system, but why a pole to the system and a 0 to the system? And what are the compensators? So compensators are actually, compensator is a form of controller in the form of what? PI, PD or PID. This is called phase lag. This is called phase lead, and this is called phase lag lead compensator. So we have this three compensators and three controllers. So you see that the controller is what is called compensator is a form of the controller in this form. So what is the controller or the compensator? So this is like an extra 0 or the pole which can be added to the system, so that the system transient response can be improved or the system state response can be improved. So which one have to be added to improve the steady state response and which one have to be added to improve the transient response? Let us see that one. But before this one, we will also study that why PI is called the phase lag compensator, or PD is the phase lead compensator, because you see that after some time, if you will not keep this in front of you, you can also forget that what is phase lag or phase lead. You see, this is also confusing to remember such kind of the things. So we will develop such kind of the relationship which will be easy for you to understand that why it is called the phase lead or the phase lag compensator. So let us develop the relationship. So we know that first we will discuss the phase lead. Phase lead, or you can say that let us discuss the PD, proportional and derivative. P means for the proportional constant term. So we know that if we have a constant term k and f of t in time domain, and if we take the what is called the Laplace transform of this one, this is k, because the Laplace transform of this constant is k, and if we have a derivative in time domain, what will happen? The derivative, if we will take the Laplace transform of this one, so this will become is remember that we have to consider the initial condition equal to 0. Similarly, if we have an integrator over here in the time domain, so the Laplace transform of the integrator is equal to 1 over s. So 1 over s. Also, we know that if we have the differentiator over here, especially let's say that we have this s, and s is equal to what? S has alpha plus minus j omega. So we can say that let's say that it is equal to plus, for simplicity to develop the relationship. So this is equal to this one. If the real part become equal to 0, as was in the previous case, in this case you see, if in this case, so we have this is the location of the s. So s is the real part become equal to 0, and we have only the imaginary part. So let's say that we have only the imaginary part. So if we have only the imaginary part, so then we, if this part is equal to 0, so let's say that we have only the imaginary part. So this will become equal to j omega. And if you convert this into the polar form, so we will have the magnitude of this one, which is equal to omega in this case, and angle will be equal to plus 90. So angle is equal to plus 90. if you consider the alpha also, then it will be less than 90, but it will be plus. Similarly, if you consider the 1 over s, then 1 over s is equal to 1 over j omega. And if you convert this into the polar form, so this is magnitude and angle is equal to 90. So if you make the relationship, this will be equal to 1 over omega magnitude and angle will become 90 minus 90 degrees. So in the electrical circuit, we say that if we have a plus 90, this means that this is leading. The signal is leading. And if we have a minus 90, then we say that you see the power factor is lagging, or we can say that the signal is lagging. So this is for the lagging. If you in the signal form, if you will what is called if you will draw this one, you see, suppose this is the constant term, or you say that the reference signal. So let's say that this is the reference signal. Plus 90, if you will draw the plus 90, so it will come from here. See this one, so this is called leading. So this is plus 90. If you this can be you see we started over here, and if you this is, you see, plus 90 degrees. The angle is plus 90. Also, if we plot the signal in signal form, so this will become equal to what, minus 90 degrees, and so on. So this is what, this is minus 90 degree. So we say that this is what, this is lagging. We know that the blue one, this is what, this is leading. That is why the lagging and leading compensator. So if we have a differentiator, you see that over here. So if you have a differentiator over here, so differentiator means that you have a d by dt, and d by dt is what, is s. And if you take the what is called the poles, the polar form, so it will become plus 90 degrees plus j. S is equal to plus j. In other term, we can say it is equal to plus j. So let me write over here. So if we have a PD, means a proportional and derivative compensator controller, so this will have like a Laplace transform of this will become equal to what, in S, which is equal to j omega, which is equal to magnitude, with whatever magnitude, but plus 90 degrees. Plus 90 degrees. And if you have the PI controller, so this will become equal to what, 1 over S, and this will become equal to 1 over j omega, or this will be equal to 1 over omega magnitude, and angle will become equal to minus 90. So this case, the previous one, this is called leading, phase lead, sorry, this is called the phase lead, and this is called phase lag. That is why these the controller are called the phase lead. You see the phase lag compensator, because this is equal to 1 over s. You can also write over here for simplicity, this is equal to s. So this is a phase lead compensator, and similarly you can take the combination of this PID, so it will be called the phase lag and lead compensator. So this is the relationship why we call the controller to the lag lead compensators. So these are also a form of the controller. Now when we have to add an S to the system, so this means if we add an S to the system, like in this case, if we add an S to the system, this means we are adding a 0 to the system. And if we add 1 over S to the system, so this means that we are adding a pole to the system, because at S is equal to 0, this will become equal to infinity, and we said a transfer function become equal to infinity, that value of is called the pole. So this means that if we are using the integrator, this means that we are adding a pole to the system, and if we are adding a differentiator, we are adding a 0 to the system. Now why we are adding this pole and 0 to the system? So let us see that one also. We know that let us consider the root locus diagram again. So we have this root locus diagram. You already know that if all the if we are along the let's say that this one, or let me take the let's say that if we are along this axis, what is called the real axis, so we have two kind of the responses. What are these two kind of the responses? Let me write that one. If we are along this axis, then we say that zeta will be greater than or equal to 1. When it will become equal to 1, when we have the two poles at the same point, so that location is called zeta equal to 1, or this will be called the critically damped system. So over here, when zeta is greater than 1, so that will become that will be equal to what? Zeta greater than 1, that is called the over damped system. That is called the over damped system. Now the problem lies when zeta is less than 1 or become equal to 0. So when it become equal to 0, we say that it become the marginally stable system, or the what is called the oscillator system. And when zeta what is called the root locus crosses the imaginary axis, we say that the system does not remain stable, it become an unstable system. So in this case we say that as you increase the value or decrease the value of the zeta less than 1, so the system response that will become under damped system. So over here the system response will become equal to what? The under damped system. So we already know this one. Now the problem what is called the problem arises when the poles move into the imaginary axis, because then what will happen, then the overshoot will also happen into the system. So that will if the overshoot happens, so the transient effect will come into the system, so that will be more dominant. So we have to improve the transient response of the system, because you see that like this one, let's say that this is the unit step response. So when zeta is equal to 0.9, it will be like this. This is for zeta is equal to 0.9. When zeta is equal to what is called the 0.5, it will be like this. So you see zeta is equal to 0.5. These are not the confirmed, just to make the sketches so that you can see that what will happen to the system. And similarly, if you will make zeta approximately equal to 0.3, you see the oscillation that will become more dominant, it will increase. So this will increase and then the system will become stable. You see that as the zeta will reduce, as the zeta is reducing, is becoming less than 1 and approaches to 0, you see the underdamping that increases, and we say that the overshoot is also increasing, which is not desirable. So we have to make the system such that this oscillation that reduce, and also the transient effect that is to be balanced in such kind of the cases. So we say that these poles they move toward like these imaginary axis, and along the imaginary axis then it will move like this one. So it move along the imaginary axis then. So what actually happens, so we say that this is the what is called the imaginary axis. So we say that the system transient effect that increases, the system transient effect increases when we are at this near to the this region. You see over here the transient effect is more dominant, because we have an underdamped system. And if we are in this region over here, somewhere here in this region, if we are move away from the what is called the imaginary axis over this region, then here the system transient effect will be less, and we can improve the we may improve the steady state error. The steady state error. So here the what is called the transient is more dominant. Here we can improve the steady state error of the system. So this means that if we have such a system where the transient effect is to be balanced, we have to drag the root locus toward the this imaginary axis over here. And if we are going to make the system stable, to reduce the steady state error, we have to move the what is called the root locus away from the imaginary axis. So away from the imaginary axis, so this can improve the steady state error. And if we are dealing with the transient effect, so we have to bring everything toward the or near to the this side. So how to make bring this one near to the what is called the root locus? So we said that actually the zero will drag everything. So if we have like the curve over here like this and this one, and if we have a zero over here, if we have a zero over here, so we can see that this will actually what is called this will zero, and let's say that we have an extra pole over here. We see that why we are actually adding this pole over here. So this will bring the what is called this what is called the root locus due to these this and this pole toward this side. So you really find this one, so this will be this one, and then you can also find this what is called the asymptotic line, and it will go into this one. So you see that it will be brought toward the imaginary axis, and we can say that we can improve the transient effect. So if we are going to improve the transient effect, also if we have the two poles over here and not the other system, so we can also add this zero. So this will drag the what is called this root locus toward the 0 point, the zero into the system. So actually the zero will drag the this extra zero. This will drag the root locus toward the imaginary axis if we will add this near to the imaginary axis. Similarly, if we will add the what is called the zero away from the imaginary axis, what will happen? This will drag the root locus away from the imaginary axis. So so let's see that in which condition we can actually bring the root locus toward the what is called the toward the imaginary axis. You see that if we have a differentiator, and we what is called we use the differentiator, so we have this dy dt, and we know that the transfer function of differentiator is equal to what is called s. So this means that we are actually adding a zero to the system. So if we are adding a zero to the system, what we have to do, we have to add this zero near to the imaginary axis. So this means that if we are using the proportional derivative controller, or you can say that the lead compensator, so what we have to do, we have to add a zero near to the imaginary axis, and then we should also add a pole with this one. Now this pole is actually added do two kind of the purposes. This attenuated the noise, and this helps to balance the angle also. These pole and zero, they will be near to each other, and they can also cancel the effect of each other. So this means that if we have to add, if we have the system, a plant over here, so we have a plant, and we have this called an error signal over here. So this is plus minus negative feedback system and unit feedback system over here. So this means that if we we can add a controller to this one. If we add a controller to this one, so this is the plant, then this is the controller, and controller will be a PD controller, so which is added over here, and then this is the same negative feedback system, unit feedback system in this case, and it will give us the control signal. And what will it will do it if we have a 0 over here, this means the root locus will be brought near to the imaginary axis, and you see we are dealing with the transient effect of the system. So we have two effects of the the stability. So if we are talking about the stability, so stability means that we have to deal with the transient state and we have to deal with the steady state. So the objective of the compensator is to achieve the stability in the form of the steady state and the transient transient representation response, transient response. So overall this compensator, this one, you can say the controller or the compensator, because compensator is a special form of the controller. So if we are adding this controller, so this controller will have the general form, which is given by Kc S plus Zc divided by S plus Pc. So this means that it will have three parts. It will have the gain. The gain part comes from the proportional part. It will have a 0 and it will have a pole, but it will have this form. 0 will be near to the imaginary axis, whereas the pole will be on the other side of the toward the left hand side of the root locus. So this will be minus Pc. So it will have this form. And if we are going to if we are dealing with the steady state, this means that the controller will have the same form. The controller will have the same form, which is equal to Kc S plus Zc divided by S plus Pc, but Azure will be here and a pole will be here, which means in this case, if we are dealing with the steady state error, so the 0 will be away from the imaginary axis. So if we deal with the 0 away from the imaginary axis, so this means we are adding 1 over S to the system. So in this case, when S is equal to 0, or you can say S plus if it is at some other location, like over here it is S plus B. If it is S plus B, so you see that S is equal to minus B, so this will give the response will become equal to infinity. So if the response become equal to infinity, that is called we say that at S is equal to we are actually adding this pole to the system. So this means the poles at S is equal to minus B. Over here we are adding a pole to the system. So in previous case we added a 0 to the system, and in this case we are actually added a pole to the system, and this 0 will be added with the pole so that it will balance the angle effect, which we will discuss in this 2 sessions. So let us first discuss the PD controller, that how the PD controller will have the effect. I think I should stop here and we will continue with an example. So wait for that one. Thank you very much.